Hey guys, this is Wayne with Hard Knocks Games, and we are starting what's hopefully going to be a series of product reviews here and comparisons on our YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the starter brush set by AMMO of Mig Jimenez. These recently came out, I'd say probably about 4 or 5 months ago. We got our first shipment of them in. They sold out really quick, and we just got restocked on them. I'm going to be reviewing, like I said, the starter brush set. In it, as you can see, it has a synthetic flat brush, a synthetic round brush that's a 0.2 size, a 0.6 synthetic round brush, and a 5.0 synthetic round brush. Brush sizes vary depending on company to company, so you'll have to check these out depending on what sizes you like and what you like to work with, because Vallejo brush sizes are different than Games Workshop sizes, are different from AMMO sizes, are different from Army Painter sizes. So they're all in the ballpark, but they are going to have some variation. You can use these brushes with any acrylic or enamel or oil-based paint. They work with the water-based acrylics really well, they work with the enamels really well, and they work with even lacquers and oil-based paints. I've tried them on all three for the 3 or 4 months that I've been using this particular set. Depending on who you talk to, most of us bougie painters like myself, we like to use our natural hair brushes. I've actually always been quite against synthetic brushes myself. I just like the softer bristles on the natural hair sable brushes. The natural hair brushes, though, do require a little bit more maintenance. You got to be a little more careful with how you clean them. You don't want to strip the oils out. You don't want to use a lot of harsh cleaners often. Whereas the synthetic brushes, you can kind of beat these up. And that's why I've been super impressed with these, because they were very cheap and I did not expect much from them, but I was pleasantly surprised. And actually a friend of mine recommended that I try these out. He said, you got to try these AMMO brushes. They're pretty good work brushes. I said, sure, why not? I'll give them a try. You know, for 11 bucks, you know, how bad or how good can they be? And I was pleasantly surprised. I like to go to the model color by Vallejo. That's kind of going to be just some basic black is what we're going to do some things with here today. I do want to note we are not spokespeople for AMMO. This is a comprehensive review. I've been using these brushes for about 3 or 4 months now. They've required minimal maintenance. You can see I'm starting to get a little bit of tip split on these. I don't know if you can see that very well on here. They're not perfectly pointed anymore, but like the fan brush is getting a little bit there in the middle. I've had to do a little bit of maintenance. But for the most part, they have held their shape very well. This number 2 has been the one that's probably had the worst split on it. The other ones have pretty much maintained their shape, but I've been using this one quite a bit. I've been very hard on it. It's been through enamel paints, it's been through oil base, it's been through lacquers, and it's been through water-based acrylics, because, well, I wanted to put it through its paces. So this could be me being mean to it, or it could be just the way they're going to go. But it's still a pretty good shaped brush for the use that I've gotten out of it. The coolest thing, and the one that I've used probably besides the 2 the most, is this flat brush right here. I've never used the flat brush actually until this. I've never found them necessary, but after playing with it and using it on some flat surfaces, some like shoulder pauldrons and some Space Marines and some Elven shields, it's turned out to be probably, I don't know what I've been doing for 20 years of painting, but I miss this guy somehow, and so I'm going to be using these a lot now. And what I like about it is the paint load in these is pretty awesome, and it's just really good on the delivery, and there's no streaking, and that's pretty impressive. There's no brush marks in that, and for a flat surface on something like this, that's pretty good. And then we've got the 0.5, which is like a pretty good detail brush that I've used for some small details, and it holds a point pretty well. And you can just see that line's pretty solid, no gaps. I mean, never mind my handshake on this camera, but can get it. You see it keeps delivering that paint, which is good for us in this modeling hobby of ours, because if you can go for a while without your paint drying out in your bristles and it actually delivers on that small of a point for that long, that's pretty good. And there's no tip split on this brush like at all, which is nice. And this was the one that surprised me. So we had some tip split on the others, but not on these. The 6 I haven't used a whole lot other than to apply some base coats, which it wasn't as good as the flat brush for doing larger base coats, but it is a great wash brush. Other than that, I said they're not perfect, but for $11 for 4 brushes, I've had way more luck with these than I've had with any other synthetic that I've tried out. Not to name any company names, not going to call anybody's brushes out, but I think these are probably some of the better, lower priced synthetics on the market, and I'll be using them for workhorse purposes, and I'll save my Winsor Newtons for more meticulous work.